Hello there, everyone, and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha. I'm an intuitive medium. I am also a person who is a kind of a life coach person who helps people through situations. I call myself a personal awareness life coach because of the fact that many people tell me I have this perspective to help people go through much in their lives. And the thing that I so enjoy helping is someone bringing in peace, some kind of tranquility, some kind of peacefulness into their lives. And I want you to know that no matter what you believe in, I can work with that because of the fact that we all have something to believe in. And this is the day before Thanksgiving. And that's one reason why I kind of turned my camera so you can see the other part of me. This part of me over my shoulder here is the part of me that I have another belief system in is the First Nation and their techniques of living with Mother Earth. I want you to know that no matter what you believe in, that if that's not your belief, I'll shut that door and move it over here so you don't have to be there. Yet at the same time, I want to honor all in this day before Thanksgiving. I want to honor all that have come before us. I want to honor and give thanks to everyone, whoever you are, for helping the partners that you have in your life. That may be your coworkers, that may be a child of yours, that may be a loved one of some sort. It might be even someone who you didn't like, but you taught them a personal lesson. And those are those things to be grateful for because of the fact that life isn't always easy. And I know right now I'm helping somebody through a situation where they kind of keep hitting the wall. And they're a little bit younger, yes, and they're learning their lessons. And yet I tell them that you are surrounded by people who care about you, and we're trying to help you be better. And she's finally getting it. She's finally practicing it better. And that's how you can navigate through life, is by practicing doing better. And that's why I want to talk about these emotions that a lot of us go into. And I know that Thanksgiving, whatever you choose to believe in that moment, or even coming up into the holidays, whatever your belief is, that those belief systems trigger, what can I do? Is this perfect enough? Is this going to be enough? I don't know if this is enough. I don't care if I mean, I do care. I so care. And I don't want to be shamed. I don't want to be guilty. I don't want to feel embarrassed. I don't want to. And that's the thing that I wanted to talk about, was how the future triggers us into believing it's going to be a certain way. And most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's not. And the more that we live in the future, the more we lose track of what's happening now. And like my dear mother of heart, this woman who came into my life the year after my mom, well, we talked on the phone for the year after my mom, or within the year of my mom passing away, but we finally got a chance to see each other, almost the anniversary of my mom passing. And it was a year, and she decided, and I decided, that our closeness, our unity, we were brought together in synchronicity so that she can be my mother of heart. And I called her my mother of heart because of the fact that she cared for me no matter who I was. Now there's times where she shoved things down my throat and had her own emotions and Yet at the same time, though, those life lessons that I learned from her is that just be you. Just be you, and you're good enough. Like she would say to me, being the double Gemini that she was and the librarian that she was and that that she said to me, Natasha, that word that you just used is not in the dictionary, but it's actually perfect for this moment. And that's the thing about life is that we may not find the perfect thing to do, but it's going to be the perfect thing for this moment. And one never knows what this moment can bring. And that's where if we live too far in the future or too far in the past, we're going to lose track of what's today, what's now, what is in this moment. And no matter where we go and what we're doing and who's what and what's who and where we are and life is happening and where are we going to be with this, that, we're never going to be one that can be perfect in that moment. We can never be perfect in that moment. And that's the thing that I want people to know is that no matter who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, who you're with, that they may judge you. Yes, they may judge you. At the same time, though, who's judging themselves? Who's judging themselves? Now, I know for me that I worried a lot through the years of my children being younger. It was something that I could not help but do. And part of it was due to the fact that my parents passed away. My kids were very young, and so they never got Christmas presents from my side of the family. Really, they may have gotten a few things, but my grandma and grandpa, yes, they got them a few things, but they were gone within the first 7 years of my children's life. So really, they don't remember my grandma and grandpa. And my uncle passed away shortly before my grandma and grandpa did. And so there's most of my family. So my kids had Christmas presents under the tree. It was up to me. And my mother and father-in-law who live in another state, they did their better. They did their gifts. If they came to visit one Christmas, they did what they could do. Yet at the same time, though, if it wasn't up to me, they wouldn't have presents under the tree. And yes, my husband tried to do better too, but at the time, to be honest with you, the alcoholism that he was in was pretty strong. And so a lot of the household duties were left to me. And I wanted you to know that even though today you're worrying about life, worrying about things happening, you may find that another year you might have a little bit more relaxation about it. Now, I'm telling you that this year I'm struggling personally with this conversation because of the fact that things are going to be happening and kids are older, and I'm already gave one Christmas present to my youngest because I felt the timing of it was so right to give it to her in October. She says, "Oh, Mom, that's a Christmas present to me." So with that when we're going through life and worrying about the future and what's going to happen, take a breath, because one never knows what the future can truly hold. I've had many conversations with people who were, what's going to happen? Why are they here? What are they going to do? And they were so caught up in the what is going to happen that they lost track of the gifts of the moment. Well, this is practice makes better, It's not where we can do perfect. It's not where we can do what we can do at the moment. There's always this situation that comes up, and what's going to happen? And I know for a lot of us who are, we got family members who are in hospitals right now, or they've passed, or we're going to be getting together for the first time in over a year and a half with family members, and what's going to happen? Do they have COVID? Do they not? Where am I going to go? What's going to happen? For some, it's flying. Uh, will my plane be canceled? Da, 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 da. And you know what I do with this? When my mind starts going off, and yes, when I was doing Christmas presents, I would have to go up several times or wherever I had them stashed and count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Santa, 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 Santa. And make sure that I was seeing what was there, because my angst and my energy and everything was problem solving. So if you need to double check yourself, do that. And then in your mind's eye, if you can, I trust, I trust, I trust. If you can use that as a mantra, I trust, I trust, I trust. There's been times where, like during this COVID, I've had to fly, and there is the talk of the political talk, the TV talk about, well, there's going to be this strike and that strike and this strike and that strike, and I'm saying that, if I'm meant to be there, I will, and if we're meant to go, we will. I've got all my ducks in a row. Now I'm asking the universe to hopefully have their ducks in a row, and I'm saying, I trust you. I keep hearing we're going to go. I trust, because the fact that if I concentrate on the negative, the angst, the energy, what am I going to be pulling towards me? What we concentrate on is what we receive. What we concentrate on is what we receive. And if we concentrate on the angst and the energies of what's going to happen, where are we going to go, what do we have do we have a rental car? Do we not? Well, yes, we do. I need to check on it. Yes, we're getting closer. Yes, I want to check on it. We never know what the future holds. There's magic that can happen just as well as negative things can happen. I choose to believe in the magic of life. Even when things didn't turn out the way that I had planned, like I rented a car and then there wasn't enough. Well, guess what I ended up doing was I went back and put the reset button. And as that reset button happened, that I was able to reset myself. And hi, Becky. Welcome, 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 Becky. Thank you for coming and listening. And if you have any input on this, please come in. Anybody who's watching, please chime in, because this is the conversation I want to have, because many of us have angst and energies of going forward in life. We have struggles in our lives. We have these scenarios in our lives that trigger us into old habits. Kind of like for me, I'm going to go back to me not feeling like I would have enough Christmas presents for my family, that I had to go back and relook and recount. Yet this year, I'm having to trust. And I can tell you that I'm going to be doing some things that makes it lay out so I can quiet this part of me that's old habit, so that I can trust that we have enough. And you know what? That I have to tell myself, no matter what I am, I'm enough. No matter who I am, I'm enough. And that is something that many of us don't tell ourselves. When we're going through stress and these anxieties about the future, that many of us don't tell ourselves, this is enough. And that's the thing that I want everyone to know is that no matter what happens, you're enough. It was kind of funny the other day. I was walking around in our local grocery store, and both my kids used to work at this store. Now just one does. And so a lot of these people know me as mom. And it was funny because this one coworker or one of the workers was noticing, and I was wearing my shawl like this, and he pulled out a sticker that I picked up somewhere, and it said, for your inconvenience. Like if that supply wasn't there, sorry for your inconvenience. And he says, does this pertain to you? Sorry for my inconvenience. And I said, well, maybe to my husband, but sorry for inconvenience because I have my own thoughts. I have my own ways of navigating life. And, it really put me into a place of, am I putting myself as inconvenient for others? Am I inconvenience for myself? Is that struggling with the future? Is that struggling with my own angst and energy? Is that I am not feeling enough? Or do I to put blame on myself for something that is not mine to put blame on? Well, one never knows where life is happening. There is so much magic in this world, so much grace and love in this world. And if we choose to believe in the other, that's what we're going to pull towards us. So I'm telling you that like for me, tomorrow, Thanksgiving, there's only going to be three of us. My youngest is now living in New Mexico and is going to be staying down there for Thanksgiving. We're going to get together for Christmas, and it's like, my husband asked me, "What's for dinner?" And I said, "Well, turkey and this, and this, and this, and this, and I hope that's enough." And he goes, and he kind of had that look like, because we're both used to having bigger meals. More, the more people you have, the more options you have. The less people you have, the less options. Well, is that going to be enough? Now, I can worry about the future, yes. I have to choose not to. Life is happening around us, and it's shifting and changing faster than we know what. As I say, it's shifting and changing faster than snot can run down somebody's nose. A kid's nose. Going through life hasn't happened yet, so why worry with so much angst and energy that it actually is bringing in that angst and energy into the now? It was just like my husband who, was worried about, do you have the plane ticket? Do you have da 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 da? And I go, yeah. And that was in August. And I'm like going, we're taking a trip in January? We're not there yet. I have this, I have that, I've gotten this done. Do we have somebody watching the house? Yes, we do have somebody watching the house. Do we? Honey, at some point in time, we have to trust. At some point in time, we have to trust. Some point in time, we have to trust the greater good can happen. And if it doesn't, we have plan B. Now, I may seem like one that doesn't stress out. Yes, I do. I do. But I also try to tell myself, I trust, I trust, I trust. Because I have to have a mantra that interrupts my mind who likes to freak out. The mental mind of our humanness likes to freak out. We've been taught well. Many of our family members freak out. Many moms, dads, we've had many uncles, aunts, sisters, cousins. We've had people who taught us well how to freak out. So the one thing that I do to interrupt this mind of mine is something that's simple. I trust, I trust, I trust, I trust, I trust, I trust, I trust. It'll be okay. 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 Just something to shift out of the angst and energy. Life is going to be around us changing. Now, many of us are going to be going into situations that are scary. Tomorrow is a day that we're going to be getting together with a lot of people or no people. And that is scary for some because of the fact that some of us, we haven't been around those people. And guess what? Those people have changed. Those people have changed from the last time we saw them. So if we walk in the door treating them like they were the last time we saw them, that's almost a dishonoring. That's almost a dishonoring. And that dishonoring of what can happen now will hurt that whole scenario. Trusting that, I use that word a lot, don't I? Because it is about trust. So trusting that if I'm around my brother, I'm just going to throw out a scenario here. If I keep having to have complications with my brother and he's showing up, well, maybe I should kind of give him a little more grace today. Because I can tell you that short time that you're going to be with him, one never knows what healing can happen. And there's going to be conversations that people come up with that are going to be triggers. And if we say something like, I don't want to go there. We're having a good time. Can we just have that good time? Can we not go there? Can we not go there? Putting a stop to something that doesn't feel right gives life a chance to move forward. One never knows. One never knows what tomorrow can be. And I know for me that those times in my life where something happened here that caused a ripple effect in me, that by the time I came around and circled around and visited that scenario again, it had changed because an hour or two have gone by and that person has done some thinking and I've done some thinking. And so we've changed. So having the angst and the energy of around what may happen tomorrow or what's going to happen, sometimes we have to go in and, if we can, give grace and honor the moment that's there. So if the bigger moment is that we're seeing each other for the first time in maybe a year or two, we're actually seeing each other. Now, talking on the phone is one thing, or not talking on the phone, or interacting over text is not the same thing as seeing someone. So seeing someone, knowing that they've changed a little bit. Can you imagine the healing that's happened in that moment? Because of the fact that no one knows what that person has gone through that they haven't talked about. And that person might have given a chance to maybe enlighten themselves when they used to be so negative. One never knows. One never knows. Thank you, Becky. So grace and honor the moment. Love that. You know what? Because even if someone is the same way, let's say that we have always this drunk uncle or a drunk aunt. They're always drunk. They haven't changed at all. But I can tell you that we have. And I can tell you that even if we have to deal with the aunt or the uncle, there's always another room to walk into. There's always another conversation we can have with somebody else. And if they are starting to stir the pot and make things bad, sometimes us walking up to them and saying, I love you and I'm sorry you're feeling so icky. Can we sit down and have a conversation? And us taking that person and having a conversation may shift the energy to that everybody else cannot feel that story going on. One can always give hope that magic can happen. But sometimes we're the magic that needs to be the processor of that. Now, does that mean that we have to stay with that aunt or uncle the whole time? No, but shifting that energy around a little bit can help move that whole scenario. And the main reason why people get so upset is because they think that nobody's loved them. So many of us with our siblings, we go back to that time that you took my doll from me. And that started the whole domino effect. But if we go up to someone and say, you know what, I don't know, in the past, I don't know what we did to each other, but I want to say I'm sorry, and can we just move forward? What grace would that be like? Hmm. I had this wonderful, wonderful woman who was my husband's ex-wife. She's wonderful. She went through some heck and holler, and I went through some heck and holler. And finally, when my husband's son was old enough, we started talking, and she said to me, I don't know why I was so complicated. And I go, I don't know either. But you know what? We can start now. Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm just so grateful that you're my stepson's mom. I'm not going to use his name. I'm so grateful. And I'm so sorry if I did something to cause complication. But I would love to start being a friend right now because I know we can be great friends. Do you know what? Because of that reset button, at the moment that grace was trying to come in, we both felt it. Guess who's good friends now? And I'm telling you that relationship was not easy through my stepson's growing up, which is sad. We both had lives. I had parents who passed away, and she had marriages that ended. Just life happened. Life happened. When we give life a chance and it feels right, you never know. Even if there's no healing that happens at that time, one never knows what healing can happen in the future. And I can tell you that saying to someone, I am sorry for if I had done anything. You're not responsible for what they did. I am sorry if I caused any problems in this relationship. Now, you may not have, but yet sometimes our reaction in the past was what was triggering them, even if it wasn't wrong. Like I did that sticker, sorry for your inconvenience. When we can walk forward and do what we're doing, that's a good way to heal. I know I have healed many situations over saying, I care and I'm sorry. Even if I didn't have to be sorry, I was sorry. And I know even for my husband and I, who when we're having complications, because we're married, that many times, even if I don't say sorry, I put my hand over and hold his. Because maybe I don't need words. I may need interaction. And that right there gives opportunity a chance. Opportunity a chance. Many of us hold grudges. We have a right to hold a grudge. We have a right to have that angst and energy towards. Many of us are grieving not having somebody with us, and we're so caught up into how are we going to be around that person? How are we going to be around these people? We're worried about the future that we lose track of right now in this moment. We have grief, we have sadness, we have joy, we're excited, we have all these emotions in a bag, and we're taking them in the doors of where we're going. And I know that these are two different things. angst and energy for the future, and yet I'm talking about living in the now and healing. Because many a times when we have angst and energy towards our future, many a times that gives us a chance to sabotage our future. And that's sabotaging with the people around us, because sometimes we're so angst up that we're not our true calm selves, and that's stirring the pot. And like if you're all angst up about the future, is this dinner won't be good enough, this dinner won't be good enough, this dinner won't be good enough, and people want to come in and help you cook, and you're like, no, 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 and you're getting mad, and blah, blah. Well, what energy is going into the food? What energy is going into? So in that moment of having angst and energy for the future, we're not appreciating of sending love into food. So I can tell you, though, that there's times when I was knowing that somebody in my house was not in a good mood, and I had to cook dinner, which many a times is a trigger, because he's a foodie and I'm not quite that much. I'm fine with just having peanut butter and celery for dinner sometimes, because I eat a late lunch, and he wants a meal. Well, sometimes if I get into that angst and energy of, is he going to like it? Is he going to like it? What's going into the food? And then no, what I try to do is that even though it could be that angst and energy, while I'm cooking, I'm putting love in there. I'm putting love with it. And I'm praying, I trust. I pray that he can like it. Not my problem if he doesn't, because I know that I'm not a bad cook. I may not be the cook he wants. Sorry for your inconvenience. But I'm here. I'm here cooking love. And there's been times where he went, yeah, I can taste the love. I said, thank you, because it was in there. My husband's a great man. He just works 12-hour days, and sometimes he's not as cleanly sweet and innocent, and a lot left for me when he gets home. So that's where I want to honor him that way. I honor my husband because he is a good man who has had to work through a lot of angst and energies and stressors and depression. Well, sometimes we marry or have a relationship with people so that we can work on our own crap. We have people in our lives to help us work on our own crap. Because I know as he was working through his depression, I had to work through mine. And he's working through his mind games of what may happen, what's going to happen. I'm working through mine. So as he's stressing out, I have to make sure I'm not. So remember, things that are mirroring for us, check in to see what's going on with you. Because one never knows. One never knows what we think that person's doing that. But that drunk uncle and that drunk aunt, there's something that they're saying, something that they're doing that is mirroring something in us that we can look at with a little bit more grace and honor for ourselves. So I know I've talked about a lot of different things, but they all kind of weave in and out of each other, don't they? And one can never know where something is going to hit or go forward. I want you to know that you're good enough, that you are good enough. And the future, one never knows. One never knows what magic can happen. I'm giving magic an opportunity. Like my husband, who was all worried about a trip we're going to take in January, that I kept saying, I'm believing in magic. I'm believing in magic. I'm believing in magic. With that, because I didn't want to bring that energy into the magic that can happen. One never knows that can happen. So believe in the now. Believe that things are changing for the better now. Because we are changing for the better. I'm hoping and praying, because if we get that chitter chatter, that conversation going off in the head, What can we do? I trust, I trust, I trust, I trust, I trust. It's like a ticker tape on the bottom of the page. You know, the stories of the news going across the bottom. Well, what happens when that news changes? They stop it and they create a new name, new wording. So what is that new wording that you can put across the ticker tape? I trust, I trust, I trust, I trust. I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe. I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough. It's good enough, it's good enough, it's good enough. Change that language so you can be the better self. And a thing to do too is gratitude. If we stay in gratitude through this moment, that gives a lot, because I can tell you that even though things aren't good enough for someone else, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. A lot of things to be grateful for. And I'm telling you that even though my whole family has basically left, except for today or tomorrow, it'll be 3 of us. I'm grateful that there's 3 of us instead of me by myself. And if I was by myself, I would have to use some language in there and just say, I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for what I have, which is community around me when I know it. And I can tell you that as I sit at an extra plate at the dinner table to honor my family members who are on the other side and the one daughter that's not going to be with us, I put a plate for my loved ones who aren't there anymore. That as I put that plate there and I honor them by putting food on that plate, that gives warmth, that gives strength, that gives me knowing that I'm not alone. And the room gets full of feeling good when I do that. So I hope that helps you when you're feeling alone, or when you're needing something, or when those energies of angst and everything like that, that as we go forward and as we navigate life is going to trigger us. That's a given. That's a given. Life is going to do things that trigger us. It's a given. How can we, though, navigate, survive it, surrender to it, choose to have an application of it, practice against the grain, practice what we all have been taught, which is stress out and don't believe in yourselves, right? That as we go forward in doing life, that the more we can say, I am good enough. This is good enough. I believe in myself. And I can tell you that today, what it looks like today is not the way it's going to be tomorrow. The way things look today, it's not going to be looking the same tomorrow. And perception can change your world. Perception can change your world. Kind of like an example yesterday. I love this person. We have a rug at our back door. Well, the rug sits here, but then on the side of it, there's the linoleum that it sits on for the kitchen. That one rug, but then on one side, there's like a little lip from where the carpet starts. Well, my husband threw the dog's ball, and it rolled between the flat little rug and the main rug, kind of like a gutter ball in bowling. And I said, oh, because Cleo ended up getting the ball before it hit the door. Oh, that would have been a strike, get all the pins down from bowling. And my husband says, no, that was a gutter ball. I said, oh, I was kind of thinking that those were the bumpers, like you put it through the gutters so that the ball can go down the center because of the children's kind of bumpers. Well, he said, no, that was a gutter ball. No, we were off I go, so there again is perception. I was thinking that it would have been a strike, and he was thinking it was a gutter ball. I kind of like my perception better. Perception can change your world. Because we're always thinking that life is a gutter ball and there's no hope in it. Is there hope in it? Because if there is hope, we wouldn't be able to see it. So when we're in the situations and putting out the greater good, like if we're walking in a door of someone's house and we're like, I don't want to be here. Why do I have to go? I don't want to be here. Well, what is everybody going to feel? That you don't want to be there. But if you go in and say, you know what? In the past, I've struggled being around these people. I have struggled being around these people. And they're going to trigger me. These people are going to trigger me. And I'm going to be triggered, I know. But the one thing I can do is go to the bathroom and look in the mirror and say, I am myself, I am myself, I am myself, I am myself. And come out and keep repeating that. I am myself. And I know a lot of people who are going to family members, going to family, and you may be gay, transgender, binary, or believe in another religion, or honoring a different spiritual belief than your family does. I can tell you, as you walk in there and you stay as neutral as you can and say, okay, I'm spending 5 hours with these people. I can do it. 5 hours with these people. I will scoot around conversations. I won't get in those conversations. And if they start coming around to it, why are you doing that? I'm choosing at this time to not have that conversation with you because I want to enjoy this moment with you. So if we can spend time in a certain situation, do our better, honor and give grace, like Becky was saying, like what she was repeating is grace and honor the moment. That we're here at this moment and I want to have good memories today. Can I have good memories with you instead of sad ones? Labeling it. People might say, I don't want to do that. Well, that's their choice. And I may just leave an hour or two earlier. Choices. 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 I want to honor in this moment and be thankful. I want to honor and be thankful for all my ancestors, for everything that you've gone through. I want to honor the First Nation and the Indigenous people who have been here and who helped us be and come to this land. I'm just saying I'm grateful for all my past who has taught me, helped me be me in this day in life, even when it was total mud thrown in my face, because those moments gave me boundaries. Gave me boundaries. I'm thankful and I honor you. I honor you, every single one, for what you've gone through, because you have gone through life. And I honor you and I send love to you. Life is not easy. Life won't be easy because it's called being human. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're human beings having a spiritual experience. And where we can find is smack dab in the middle, and our perception changes our life. Perception changes our life. Magic can happen in your future if we have that perception. So it's the last 15 minutes here and I usually pull cards. Becky, if you're still here, I would love to pull a card for you to see what can help you. So what I do is I pull either angel cards, fairy cards. I also have another fairy deck that I love. They're pretty cool fairy. I have to read the book on that one. I also have a deck here that's about the map. So it would be where you would get messages. So if you would like to pick a deck, and I have this oracle cards too. that basically are different scenarios in them. And then I have animal cards. So, would you like to choose one? And whoever else is watching too, if you would like to speak up, I would love to pull cards for you for the last 15 minutes. And then I'll pull a card for the universe after that. Okay, so, oh, the map. Okay, I will do that. Okay, so Becky, what I'm going to ask you to do, thank you, is put out there. You don't have to put it in the text, but put out there something that you would like to have the universe give you an answer to or help guide you with. Let's see. This is for Becky. Becky would like to know what. Becky would like help with. Okay. Oh, so I was and I felt this top card. The Ghostlands. Oh, I love this card. This is a card 17, which is 8. So the Ghostlands, and it was upside down. When we have cards upside down, that means that we're it's kind of like putting bad gas in a car. It's like, okay, so I'll read this for you. Ghostlands. So number 17. This card has been coming up a lot. So we must be all in the Ghostlands of life. Okay, so Ghostlands. And you'll have to excuse my reading. Sometimes my dyslexia is kind of a little bit. But I'm going to ask guides to read. Cancel, clear, delete that. Nope. See, I was going into the future of negative. What did I do? I stopped myself because that's an old pattern. I believe in myself. I'm asking the guides to help me read. Ghostlands. You can learn from the past and imagine a beautiful future, but you must live in the now, the here and now. So if it's upright, I'm going to read upright and I'm going to read it both ways because some of us are in the upright and some of us are in the other way. Okay. Upright. Whenever you set your sights too far ahead, you run the risk of losing your footing. For rarely do we present sorry about this. Let me reset this sentence. You ruin the risk of losing your footing, for rarely do the present and the future match up exactly on the enchanted map that you call your life. The future has no substance right now. It is a place that has no grounding as of yet. You cannot live there, yet you can take measured steps toward the goal of your dream. These steps are important now. In other words, how can you think your future is going to be? Well, sometimes we can't think of the future as it being a certain way, but even just thinking, I can have magic in my future gives opportunity. The same goes for nostalgia. You can look into the past wistfully and remember a beautiful moment or resentful or revisit lessons learned. However, you can't live there, nor can you go back and change what was. Yesterday is gone forever. Live fully in the present. The now is the most powerful place to put your attention. Its magic reaches out in every direction, further than the heart or the soul can see. So reversed. So reversed is upside down. So Becky, this is how you received your card. When the Ghostlands card appears reversed, it's a sign that you are wandering in an emotional or an intellectual place with no real substance. There is no point longing for that which has already gone or hasn't happened yet. Perhaps you've created a fantasy or a good old days or some elusive auto-planned destination that lives somewhere in the future. Then this or that happens makes things better. Live one day at a time. Each day is a new beginning, filled with truth and beauty. Stay away from the ghost lands of the past and the future. Avoid nostalgia or longing for something better. Find joy in what is present in your life. I hope that made sense. So basically, what I do when I'm in a moment of this or that, if I'm in the moment of this or that, I'm not where I've been and I'm not sure where I'm going, I find gratitude. Even if it's, oh, look, I got a chair to sit here and take a breath. Find something that you're grateful for, because that moment can help you stay here to move forward. I feel like there's another card out here for you. Feeling like the fairies. Yes, these fairies. Okay. So Becky says, thank you. Really trying to stay in the moment. Yes. And that's not always easy because we have so many things coming up in the future. That's the thing that everybody should know is that we do have big things coming up in the future. Just in a couple weeks is Christmas time. Now, if you believe in Christmas or not, but there's still this energy that comes up for the end of the year. It's just in the air. And if we start getting in that ball, remember, I use this mantra: what's yours is yours, what's mine is mine. This was lovingly given to me. What's yours is yours, what's mine is mine. What stands between me and you is love, a color, a rainbow, an angel. So those energies that are out there, I can get on that treadmill real easily. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Yet I'm choosing to have my own energy, which has a little bit of angst in it and energy in it, but I kind of go, you can leave, you can leave. Okay. So these are the fairy cards. Okay, so I'm going to pull these cards for you, Becky. I was feeling like there was one more card for you. So I'm making the executive decision here in my intuitiveness. Top one. Okay, so I heard top card. Okay, so you must have been going through something because right now it says autumn, and it says the fall season. Everything comes together, and you reap the wonderful harvest of your abundance. So you must be coming into something that you've been kind of navigating through, that you're wanting. I'm not tapping into you haven't given me permission, but reading off the cards about being in the ghost lands and then coming up. So this is telling you, have the perception, start seeing the good that is out there, even if it's a sunset or a sunrise that you catch, or you're noticing that, like today I was out stringing some Christmas lights because it was a warmer day, that you actually that like there's blue jays that were squawking, and I had to find gratitude that actually they trusted me enough to be right there to squawk. So find reap the rewards of what you're doing, but having the perception that they're there, because I can tell you that the universe is giving things to us. But if we keep seeing, it's like that's one story about how the universe, you're in the water and the universe sends you a stick, and you send that stick along because you're waiting for the boat. And then they bring another bigger stick to you or log to you, and you shoo that one, and you're still swimming because you're wanting a ship to come to you. And then this person comes in a really small dinghy, and you wish them away because you were thinking of a ship. Well, remember, the universe is always going to bring us something, but it's little pieces at a time. And those little pieces add up to something greater. because healing, healed, healer. So as you go through life, healing energy surrounds you in this situation because you do have help. So look at that picture. Isn't that beautiful? Trying to get it through the lights here that I have so I can be not washed out. So you do have, Becky, you do have the moments where you're being healed, you're healing, healed, and healer. So I feel like you're on the cusp of something. So believe in that. Believe in that. A private session, I can give you more details if you are looking for it. But here, I'm not tapping in because I have not had permission. So thank you for trusting that. So now, what deck wants to call out for the universe? Because I'm get down here. Oh, I'm going to go with this one. So this is the Oracle card from Claudette Baron Reed. And I know I don't ever say her name politely, and I honor you, but my tongue sometimes doesn't wrap around words that well in that way. And I apologize, and I am changing that story as we're moving forward. Becky says, how wonderful. Thank you for sharing the gift. I have a wonderful holidays. Oh, I'm wishing the same thing for you. So let me pull this deck of cards. This is for everyone. This is for everyone who ends up watching this later. Okay, what would you like to tell them? This card right here. Lady of the Lake. Lady of the Lake. So the Lady of the Lake. Look how powerful she is in the midst of the wind blowing around her, the storm of the water. She's holding in her power. So remember, our feminine energy, even if you're masculine, feminine energy can be soft, gentle. Instead of coming into a house that's full of ruckusness and stuff, sometimes the calmness of a feminine nature can help. So, Our Lady of the Lake. She says, absolute truth, courage, self-respect, and responsibility. And it's a number 8. It's the number 8 card, which means infinity. And I wish I don't have the... So basically, she's telling you that no matter what the storm is around you, stand in your empowerment. It's not being powerful. It's not about being strong. I know what I'm doing. You don't have to tell me what to do. I'm not worried about it. It's about being empowered. You know, I believe that I'm good. Thank you. We don't have to squawk about it. We can be okay. So be empowered. Be empowered with yourself. You know, I don't have to believe what you're believing. I'm going to believe in what I want to believe, but I can honor you. Be empowered with who you are, because empowered can give you grace. Give you grace. Because of the fact that we're coming into some new awareness of ourself. And if we can walk through the holidays, this new year, which 2022 is a magical year. It's a prime number, 22, 11. Those are all prime numbers. That it's going to be a magical year if we so choose to believe. And I can tell you that when COVID came out and we were shutting down, it was the first day I was on the radio. So I could have been shut down and been sorry for the COVID, but I saw this was an opportunity. Believe in magic and you may just receive it. Blessings to you. And I want to send a wonderful, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, all our ascendants, for being who you are so that we can have this magical day today. And I hope and pray that as many are coming together and we don't have our loved ones with us because we've lost someone, that they are standing there with you, loving you, giving you grace. Your ancestors who have passed are helping you, being with you, sending you love. Set a plate for them. They may want to eat with you a little bit. I know that's kind of weird, but it's called the Native Americans do this a lot, the First Nation, that they set a plate and they honor our ancestors or our ascendants or our guides, the angels, or even if we believe in dragons and fairies, it's kind of a peace offering for them. And doing that, it just adds balance. It adds balance. My love to you. And I am here. Please, I am here Mondays and Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific time. On Mondays, it's with Regan Forston, a hypnotherapist, doing the dance of the soul. And on Wednesdays, I'm here with Life Clarifications with Natasha. If you are on Facebook, please like my page, and so you know that I do inspirational quotes. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. And if you would love to share this for someone who can hear it, please do so, because this is something that I hope that this message can help someone. Blessings to you. And know, no matter what happens today, you're always loved, and something has an opportunity to happen for you tomorrow. Blessings to you. Thanks again, Becky, for chiming in, and blessings to you. Hope to see you again. Bye now. Happy Thanksgiving.